Hey YouTube, it's your girl She. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. I have some updates for you today. Come on in, like the video. I have some important updates for you on today, May 1st, 2025. 4 more days until May 5th, 2025, when the student loans, um, listen, payments are going to start up. Come on in. We got to talk about it. I have a lot of important information for you that could be very beneficial to you. Hey, Anthony, how are you? Like the video for me, please. Like, share, subscribe. I have some updates. We're going to talk about student loans, and we're going to talk about Florida. Like, Florida's very busy. Where are you located? Where are you located? Florida's like, listen, we about to be in the Guinness Book of World Records over here. Florida is not playing. Florida is not playing. Come on in here. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to tell you what Governor Ron DeSantis' message is for any and everybody who think they're going to make their way to Florida without being legal or being documented. So we're going to talk about it. Like the video. Come on in. Come on in. I have a message too from, listen, our girl Caroline. Caroline talking. Y'all know Caroline be catching attitudes. Caroline, she got a message too. She got a message too for y'all who keep asking about Kilmar. She got a message. She like, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all one more again. I'm gonna tell y'all one more again. Come on in here, like the video. How many of you all? How many of you? Let me know in the chat if you are an American, if you are in the USA, and if you have. Eric said, "Yeah, I made it early too." I see you, Eric. Yes, you did, because Eric, you be coming in the last 2 minutes talking about what we talking about. I don't know why you be playing like that. Y'all double tap the screen, like the video. Where are you? Compton, California. What side? I'm from the Bay Area. I'm from Northern California. Come on in. I have some updates for you. Student loans. Y'all let me know in this chat. Y'all, anybody in here impacted? Because they saying it's 5 million of y'all who are already in default. So y'all know it's more people than that got student loans, but they saying 5 million of y'all mofos are in default, and a cool 4 more million of y'all are about to be in default in the coming months. So don't be playing. How many of y'all are already in the 5 million? That means your ish just being behind. Like, you like, gee, listen. My ish ain't been right since pre-pandemic. How many of you fall in that category? Then how many of you fall in the category be like, you know what? I don't even hold you. I'm about 30 days away from being default, about a good 30 days. So I got the numbers for you. I got the data. I got the numbers. And the government, the Trump administration, listen, they like, listen, run me my coin, because yeah, we got debt that we need to pay. So I'm gonna run down some information for you all. Like the video, double tap the screen. Let's go. Hot news, good day while borrow pay. Listen, y'all, listen, you know your situation. Defaulted student loans. For the first time in 5 years, defaulted student loans could result in, now y'all make note of this, because this is some new unexplored territory. This is what it could result in. Reporting to credit unions, um, collecting payments through your tax refunds, salaries, they can get it through your paycheck garnishments. Here's the kicker. This is the new one that got. I promise y'all, every time that I talk about this, it's like a new little thing that slides on in here. Because before, the newest thing for me was, them getting your tax refund. But y'all, they are now saying, listen, you can pay if you don't want to. You can pay if you can Choose to not pay us if you want to. But Social Security benefits, oh, baby, we coming for that too. So we don't care if you're 72. You getting Social Security benefits and back when you was younger, you got student loans and you didn't pay for it, you didn't pay it off, you fell behind. That little Social Security check that you get that's already really not enough anyway, we gonna take that too. I said, Lord, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. They coming for the senior Social Security check. They are not playing. This could impact millions of student loan borrowers. Currently, there are 5 million plus who are in default, 4 million who are nearing default, according to the Department of Education. So, y'all think about it. Just think about just how things are looking right now, pre May 5th, 2025. How people are struggling to just pay whatever to make it do what it do. Like, just think about just what your situation is just right now. I'm pretty sure probably most people all my lives got some type of student loan debt. So just think about your situation right now, pre Cinco de Mayo. We ain't even got to Cinco de Mayo yet. Pre Cinco de Mayo. What's your situation? So think about your situation. Can you slide the government another five, six, $700? Do you got it? Do you got it? Because that is what they're coming for. Right now, I'm telling you, 5 million are already in default. Already. It is projected that come November for Thanksgiving, that number will double to at least 10 million people who are in default. 10 million people. Where is this money coming from? Y'all know it's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to need this from you, but it's a whole nother situation when that person can't come through and pay it. Y'all know what that is. You can want all you want. What they say, people in hell want ice water. People in hell want ice water. Just because you want it don't mean you gonna get it. And this is the situation. The government is saying, yo, I want it. But the people are like, I'm on my tax case. I ain't got it. I hear what you're saying. Listen, I hear what you're saying. I hear you loud and clear. But I'm going to need for you to hear me loud and clear when I say, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. I ain't got it. So I got some more data for y'all. Come on in here, double tap the screen, hit the like button. What's up, Simply Living? You said my student loan was forgiven at the end of the year, and all of a sudden I received an email notifying me that the auto withdrawal will start back in May. Baby, they took it out my account today. Say it ain't so. What they say, shut the front door, call the police. This is that issue that I'm talking about. It ain't even Cinco de Mayo. It ain't even Cinco de Mayo. I would tell you to call somebody, but peep this. I didn't learn that people are already trying to call them numbers. You know, they tell y'all, call Department of Education, get on a payment plan, talk to somebody. Y'all, peep this. Y'all listen. They said that people right now are already calling them numbers and they sitting on the phone for 10 hours. Who the hell got time to be? I'm just wondering, y'all let me know if anybody in my chat sitting on the phone for 10 hours. Who is sitting on the phone for 10 hours to talk to somebody about paying somebody some money? That is what they said. In my little notes that I got, because y'all know I'll be doing my research. I'll be all over the place, listening to all different types of news outlets talk about the ish that's going on. 10 hours people right now are spending on the phone just trying to get a hold of someone. Hey, here's the kicker. After the 10 hours, about a good half of them drop off. Who's still on the phone? There are people still waiting on the phone right now while I'm doing this live. Who is still on the phone trying to get somebody? A work shift is a cool 8, part-time with a cool 4 to 6. Who doing overtime on the phone trying to get somebody to talk to them about how you can pay them? That stuff I'm talking about. But this is that information y'all need to know, because this is what the phone lines are looking like pre Cinco de Mayo. I've been telling y'all for a couple of weeks that Cinco de Mayo this year in 2025 gonna look real different. Let me run down the reasons why it's gonna look real different. First of all, May 5th, 2025 is the start of the Diddy trial. So already Cinco de Mayo was looking real different. It was already looking real different for me because I always knew that was the day his trial was starting. So I always connected that to Cinco de Mayo. Then I hear that the student loan payments All of that is going to go into an effect May 5th. I said, oh, they just trying to jack the whole meaning of Cinco de Mayo from the Latin community. It ain't even y'all day no more. It ain't even got the same meaning. Folks worried about, okay, if Diddy has been to go to jail, which I believe he rightfully should, and if, well, I had his money to pay these student loans. Ain't nobody giving no thought about, I don't know if it's supposed to be for the Latin, the Independence Day. Ain't nobody thinking about that. Ain't nobody thinking about the real original meaning of Cinco de Mayo because they done got them slapped the bill due date on that day. Ain't nobody. Folks gonna be drinking stress thinking about the having to pay bills and having to come up with money that they ain't got. This is what they finna be doing while they drinking them margaritas. It's just gonna be it's gonna be real somber. People gonna be drinking, drunk and crying at the Mexican restaurant this year for Cinco de Mayo. I'm telling y'all all the reasons why. People got plenty of reasons to be knocked on in their feelings crying. Today, as of today, student loan borrowers owe over $1.6 trillion. Is that enough to be crying, sipping margaritas, daiquiris, thinking about your bill, thinking about having to pay the bill that you ain't got? Many people, it's been their dream to own a home. They haven't accomplished it yet because of student loans. And now you're saying, oh, if you don't pay this student loan, you think you ain't got no house now. When it comes time to retire, oh, that Social Security that you think you about to collect, not if you got a student loan. If you got a student loan, don't even think about collecting them few dollars from the Social Security because they said they coming for that too. Y'all, I ain't making this ish up. This ish is out there. Get into it. If you owe student loans, it will behoove you to learn more about these changes, these that are to go into an effect come May 5th. A lot of people have already started getting their notices over 30 days ago. Some people have already started getting that money removed from the account. Anthony said, I paid child support, couldn't afford, but garnished my pay. This reminds me of child support. Like, as I've been hearing them talk about how they're trying to come at people, when I heard check garnishment, income tax, them taking your income tax, child, that sound like a child support situation to me. Folks finna be getting treated like they owe back child support and they ain't had nan kid. They ain't had nan kid, but this government finna take their money like they got like they doing numbers like Elon Musk, Nick Cannon, Bootsy, and folks ain't. Some of these people probably be like, hell, I'm gay. So I ain't got no kids. I'm gay. And they treat me like I owe back child support, like I done slid something into somebody and I owe something on something. These are the times we are in. I'm telling y'all, this is where we at. Even though it's not realistic for people to be paying back this money, they are still coming for it. That's the crazy part about it. That's like you going to a crackhead reminding them that they owe you $20. Like, really? Like, they gonna be looking at you looking at them, and they like, well, where I'm getting it from? This is how crazy it is, because really this is the situation. The government are coming to people who already don't have money to pay their bills, asking for something that to them is at the bottom of the pole on the list of priorities, because they're trying to come up with the money just to pay for your regular everyday living. This is the situation that we're in. The Department of Education estimates about another 4 million borrowers going into default in the coming months. So y'all, by this summer, remember I done told y'all already out the gate we at 5 million. At 5 million. By 4th of July, it's going to be about another 4 million that's going to be a part of that pool. It's going to be another 4 million. About 75% of borrowers aren't making payments at all. Are any of you a part of the 75%? About 75%, they're not making payments and they cannot be contacted. So let me paint a picture. So it's a lot of people who are in default, who haven't been making payments, and then the government, they don't have contact with them. So people then moved around. Y'all know it's times hard out here. I tell y'all every time I go live, it is hard out here for a pimp. People ain't got it. People ain't got no phone for federal government to be calling, chasing them. People ain't got no address. They are sleeping in their cars. It's on some real catch me if you can type stuff. This is the time that we are on in the USA. Hell, China saying shit. Since we on that type of time here in China, we gonna talk about China a little later because they struggling too. They out there cutting. They acting a fool out there on them streets, and soon we might see that with Americans after May 5th when people start having to make payments on something that they don't have. Question: do you have it? Because I know most of y'all got student loans. So Wayne Johnson. So peep this. This is how you know that how bad things are. There's this guy named Wayne Johnson. Look him up. He's the former COO of the Education Department Office of Federal Student Aid. He says that the government is not prepared for the financial impact that we will see coming up. We're going to see things in a way that we've never seen before. People are going to experience hard times in a way that they've never experienced it before. He used to be over the federal student aid. He said, yo, back when I was running when I was in there, I felt like this stuff. He called it, let me see, hold on, let me look my notes, see what he called it. He said that this was, what's the word? Give me a minute, y'all, because he called it predatory lending. This man said it's predatory lending. Remember, he used to work for the government in the student aid, and back then he said it was a fraud. He said still today it is a fraud. He said the government, they playing games. They got life twisted, and for them to think that they finna get that money, he don't understand how the hell they came up with that, because when he worked for them, they wasn't getting it. So and times are even worse now than they were when he was in there running stuff. He was like, no, this ain't gonna work. He said the federal government don't even have the resources to address the concerns of the borrower. Y'all, I told y'all when I came on this live, they saying that right now when you call to try to talk to somebody about your student loans, you are on hold for 10 hours. I wish the freak I would try to be on hold anywhere for 10 hours. Like, you got to have you a whole battery. You got to have you a whole battery pack ready for that. A few battery packs. Because if you on a cell phone, that thing going to die. 10 hours. This man said people are on hold for 10 hours. The government do not have enough resources to even try to collect on this money. They don't have, like, we ain't got the money. They don't have the resources. Y'all know they didn't got them let everybody go and fired everybody. So what, you got about a good 7 folks answering the phone at home? A good 7? Because remember, these are federal workers. I got a friend who worked for the IRS. Her job, I don't know, she said it was keeping her till May because she worked, she dealt with like the income tax filing. So they kept her longer because of that. But y'all know they've been cutting numbers. So with people calling, y'all, they probably got a cool 7. If you on hold for 10 hours, y'all, I'm pretty sure it ain't no more than about 7 folks answering them phones. It's got to be about 7 people. It got to be about 7 people answering them phone lines. Let me see. What else? The administration has told the people to call the Department of Education to discuss the student loans and to make necessary payment arrangements. My question to you all, do you support student loan forgiveness? And second, is this predatory lending? Because remember, Wayne Johnson said this predatory lending, and he used to work for them. He was a COO. He said it's predatory lending. I said predatory lending. Let me look this up. Let me see what they mean by predatory lending. So peep this. This is what predatory lending means. When I went on the internet and I looked it up because I'm trying to understand. Predatory lending. Any lending practice where the borrower is taken advantage of by the lender. Point 1. Predatory lenders impose lending terms that are unfair or abusive. Two, and predatory practices often committed against victims who are elderly or low income. How many of y'all who got student loans, you elderly and you low income? You low income. I know it's a lot of y'all that can follow in that low income category. Low income, which one? You in that elderly? Because remember they said they coming for your social security check. So they know that there's some elderly ones out there that still owe on their student loans. So you got that group. But I'm sure it's a lot of people that fall into the low income. Raise your hand if you low income. Predatory lending. So this man said, y'all, this is predatory lending all day long. He says, quote, a lot of people are about to get hit with a freight train or a sledgehammer. I repeat, he said a lot of people are about to get hit with a freight train or a sledgehammer. It's coming. May 5th, 2025. That's why they already can project how many more people are about to be in default. They already know that half the people they can't even reach because the phone don't work. People probably done lost jobs since then. Like I said, they done lost jobs. Um, they've lost jobs. They ain't got no phone. Phone ain't got turned off. They got a burner phone. Listen, catch me if you can. People out here hiding cars. Double tap the screen. Hit for the like button. We got 178 of you in here. 25 likes, please. Hit the screen. Let me know. How do you feel about this whole situation with the student loans? Skipper said, I decided not to go to school because I couldn't pay the loans. As soon as I saved up money, I paid cash for it. Just make responsible decisions. How many of you did exactly that? You paid cash. You said, you know what? I can't go right now, but I'll go when I got cash. Anthony says, many of these so-called people whom owe student loans are from wealthy families or countries. BSP said, if you go to the restaurant and buy a steak and don't pay to get in trouble, the same with student loans or any loan. Pay your crap and don't cry about it. Well, apparently there's going to be a lot of people crying about it. They trying to get somebody on the phone to cry too. They need somebody to hear their cries. So for them to be spending 10 hours on the phone, it's hundreds of people who are trying to do the same thing. They like, listen, somebody finna hear my cry. Somebody finna hear my cry. People are listen. People right now are stressed, and they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know what they're going to do. Calvin King says that's the point. The loans are borrowed money from the government. Paying back the loans help fight out or control our debt deficit. I get that. But here's the thing. What percentage of the people do you think that have student loans actually can afford to pay the student loans back? Because what I've seen over the years, a lot of these jobs, when people have, from my experience and conversations I've had with people, people were sold a lie about the experience of college and how you can benefit as a result of going to college. What I mean is that many people were told, hey, go to college, get this degree, get this education. When you come out, you'll be able to make this particular amount of money, which in turn would allow for you to pay your student loans. What I have come to see in my lifetime, in my 44 years, is that that has not been the case. Many people have gone to college, graduated, and have not been able to get a job either in the field that they went to school for, or even in another field, to make the amount of money to be able to pay back the student loans. I do not feel like most people who are in default can actually afford to pay it back. But here's another piece to that. It's not only about even being able to afford to pay it back, it's being able to afford to pay back the amount that the government is designating for you to pay back. For example, there was someone online that she was telling her story. This was shortly after, when Trump got into office and he started impacting the Department of Education. She's like, yo, my student loans, I'm a single parent of, I think 2 or 3 kids she had. She was like, my student loans were like $350. She's like, I've been paying it. I've been paying it fine. It's what I can afford. I recently got a notice that my student loans is net payment is now going up to $900. She's like, I can't afford that. I was able to afford the 350. I can't afford the 900. So you do have some people who are falling in a situation of like, yo, Sheik, I have no problem paying back my student loan. My problem is I cannot afford the amount that they're asking for me to pay back. Listen, it's levels to this thing. It's levels to this thing. It's not cut and dry. It's not cut and dry. So people are being told, hey, call the Department of Education, speak to somebody, try to get on a payment plan, talk to them about your situation. But remember, I done also told you that people are on the phone for 10 hours or more trying to get through to someone and ultimately having to drop off the line. Hell, what I'm hearing is that the people after the 10 hours are dropping off the line. I don't know if they plan this situation where you got different people in the household and everybody got a shift on how long you stand on the phone. Like y'all breaking it out in 2 hour increments. Everybody do 2, 3 hour shift to stay on the phone until somebody pick up. I don't know what type of system you need to have in place to stay on the phone for 10 hours. Because with the way my life's set up in the job I have to work, I really ain't even got an hour to be trying to be on the hold with you, but I can probably try to work it out and make it do what it do for a good hour. But them other 9 hours, it's on some type of tag you it type situation where somebody else got to step in and help you out. And so here it is. Say if you got a situation and you're like, okay, I need to start paying it. That's fine. I need to talk to someone about my situation so I can start. But if you can't get through to somebody to talk to about your situation, how do you get to that point to start paying back with what you can pay, you know? Because if they got on records your monthly payment is $900 and you only throwing them a cool 250, guess what? You are still being classified as being in default because that bill is $900, not 250. You see what I'm saying? You can't just pay what you want to pay. You got to pay with what they have you on record for. Kind of like your mortgage, your car note. If you partial pay, they don't consider that as you paid. They're going to say you short paid. You still owe this amount. You haven't paid it in its full. So you still are in default. You still can get hit with these late fees. All of that. All of that. If you cannot pay the amount that they've outlined for you, you have to have a conversation with somebody. And that's the problem. People aren't able to get through to have a conversation with someone. These are the times we in, y'all. Listen, I'm just communicating information. Simply Living says, I didn't ask for the student loan forgiveness to begin with. I'm about finished with the loan, so no worries. That's crazy. Um, I have heard that the current administration is saying, listen, there's no such thing as student loans forgiveness. So that's very interesting, Simply Living, that you said it was forgiven and then they circle back around and wanted to take the money out, because I know two people. I have two family members who loans underneath the Biden administration, loans were forgiven. One loan was one person, they worked for in a medical field. So a couple of years ago, theirs was forgiven. And then the second person, theirs probably got forgiven right around November-ish. They got notification that their student loans was forgiven. So that's very interesting to have it forgiven and then somebody kind of circle back around and start, garnishing money from your account because, now they're saying, no, 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 we made a mistake. I don't know. Are they saying, oh, we made a mistake, we shouldn't have forgiven your loan? I don't know. It's crazy, but these are reasons why you need to like talk to somebody to get clarification on some things, because Simply Living, that would be a good question to have. Like, yo, like, help me understand, why was my loans forgiven? I didn't ask for them to be forgiven, but they were forgiven. Now you're coming back and taking money out of my account. Like, what's the deal? Can help me understand. Help me understand. But it's like the line sold up. Remember, I said they got about 7 people. They got about 7 people. Anthony says no debt forgiveness. They bury themselves on worthless degrees. Get a trade. Yes, payment plan is more responsible. Call Comcast. Same thing. On hold. Yes, like it was a trick bag. Like many people was just sold on this dream, this idea that going to college was the move. It was the thing to do. It was the thing to do. Like I heard that pretty much like all my life. Nobody in my family up until my generation really, it was very few people. Like in my generation, I was the first one. When I say my generation, like my cousins and stuff, um, I was like the first one to finish. My older cousin, so I'm number four in the line of like from oldest to youngest. So I'm number four. So the number two, the second oldest grandchild, my cousin, she went to college. So, but she didn't finish. She did not finish. So then I went and I finished. So I was the first one to finish. And then I have sisters who finished after me. So but y'all, I mean, I was sold on a dream. I was told, well, she, if you go to college, then you can get to the money, you can get to the bag, you can get this, that, and the third. You can have that Huxtable, you can have that lifestyle. You see how the Huxtables was living different. Listen, she, that will be your life. I just need for you to sign these papers and get these degrees. So that's what I did. That's what I did. That's what many of us was told, like, with that's how it worked. And what I did as I was getting education, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm done now. Oh my God, I can't afford, I still don't have the job to start paying back student loans. Let me stay in school and get another degree. How many people fell into that trick bag where you're like, you know what? I continue to get more degrees because the education that I did have, it still wasn't enough. It wasn't quite cutting it to pay my bills. So I had the idea, because to me it made sense. Let me kind of stick around in school a little longer and get an advanced degree, and see that, therefore when I get out, then I can demand a higher salary. Child, that's what I did. That was my thought process. That was my thought process. Let me know what y'all thought process was, because I know I'm not the only one. Based off of these numbers, I'm not holding these numbers down by myself. I am not the only one. Nathan says, I can't wait for the government to take their homes and cars so I can buy a cheap house. Listen, it is coming. It is coming. Oh, it is coming. Foreclosures, the numbers, if you in that business to where you make money off of people who don't pay the taxes on their houses, or you looking at them houses that are going in foreclosure, listen, oh, it's coming. Oh, it is coming. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I see, come the holiday season, come November, because remember, they're saying by November we're going to be up to about 10 million people being in default. So nearing out the end of the year, the fourth quarter of the year, these numbers going to be numbering in every category when it comes to unemployment, when it comes to homelessness, when it comes to foreclosures, uh, uh, debt, like every category, like the numbers are just going to go up. Anything centered around money, those numbers are definitely going to go up. Those numbers are definitely going to go up. This is like, listen, we're here. We're here. I just come out here just to report the information. It's a lot going on. JC says, White Jodeci, kids can go to school for free nowadays. Folks deserve mercy from all that interest on the loans. Let me see. AK76 says USA credit, economics, 3 jobs, 10 credit cards, education loans, medic bills. Thank God I live in Europe. No loans for nonsense. 1 job, 38 hours a week. You can buy a house, a car, and free health care. Listen, yeah, it's real different in the US of A. It is real different here. It's real different. Anita says, into that, what they want, pick it up cheap, rent it all out, never own it again. Listen, I don't know what the people want, but whether you want it or not, this is where we are. This is where we are. Many people gonna be down bad. People are already down bad, but it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. So just prepare yourself for what's to come. I have not heard about any online resources that you can use or refer to when it comes to communicating with the government and trying to make payment arrangements. This gentleman that I listened to today before I went live just only talked about just the directive of the government saying call a phone number. So that's what a lot of people are doing. That's what a lot of people are doing. Richard says, "Did you hear about the U.S. ports?" Yeah, what how they looking empty? What did Amber tell me? What did you hear? I talked about I think yesterday about the ports on my Car Chronicles, but you can let me know in your comments like what you're saying because I see what I reported on. I was listening to a gentleman who's a trucker who I follow, and he talked about how the ports come. We got about 2 more weeks of just deliveries, things coming through the ports, and then it's just going to be a halt where it's just not going to be anything there because there's not going to be anything coming through from China. There's nothing going to be coming through from China. So as a result of no packages coming through, like that's no inventory going into the stores or on the shelves. So that's when it impacts us. You're right, because we go into the stores looking to buy toilet paper, paper towel, whatever you're trying to buy. It is a good chance that before the month is out, we are going to see inventory really, really low. To me, it makes me think about how things were during the pandemic when it was just the toilet paper craze, like the essential items that you need, how it was hard to kind of get them. How many of y'all sometimes you get up early on like a Saturday morning and do like a Sam's Club or a Costco run? And then you're going into the stores and it's like signs on the limited amount of items, like from the quantity that you can buy, because they're trying to make sure it's enough for as many people as possible. When I think about these times, and as people talk about the ports and things coming in, Richard says China ports are full, U.S. ports are lacking. I learned China is the largest exporter in the world. So of all the countries, they do the most exports. Also, I'm learning that China, yeah, they're going through it. A lot of the people, they don't have jobs, and what I've learned is that the China, like here in the U.S., if you don't work, they have like unemployment, it's a few dollars. It ain't nothing to like get fool off of, but it's a few dollars that can help. Listen, anything can help when you don't have money coming in from a job. But China don't have anything like that with their systems where they will pay or give their citizens like money to tie them over. It's almost like in China, if you don't work, you don't have no money. So a lot of people there aren't working because they're not working in these factories, these manufacturers, because they've shut down. So I was listening to this guy talk about China and said that what they're doing, because remember, they don't have unemployment. So what they're doing, they're giving out loans to their people. But peep this look at how this can just cause just a tsunami, just a really bad economic issue for them. You're giving out loans to people and they don't have jobs. So how are these loans going to be paid back? But this is what they're doing because China is heavily makes their money too a lot off of like real estate. So the real estate isn't people aren't buying real estate like that over there in China because they can't afford to. So there's the impact there. And as a result of that, people aren't able to make these payments to pay their mortgages and things on these properties. So there's the impact there. Like they got a situation. I told y'all on other lives, they out there protesting hard because they're really upset with their president. They're really upset. They just wish that he would. Um, I think what they're looking for is him to um, work harder with trying to work with President Trump, because a lot of their hardship is centered around just the bad blood between China and the U.S. And what I've heard also is that the leader over there in China, what he's saying, the message he's sending to other countries that they do business with, if he learns that they're doing business with the US, that he's not going to rock with them no more. He's going to cut their water off on some of the things that China does as a support for them. I told y'all this is a battle of who nuts can hang the lowest, either the president of China or Trump's. It's like a contest. And we as the people, the working class people, we just sitting on the sidelines just watching them duke it out because there's nothing we can do about it. We just sitting and just watching it. And in the meantime, I'm coming out here reporting it to you all. This is just what I'm doing because it's like we can't do anything. This is what's happening. It's what's happening. AK-76 said, I live in the Netherlands and the wages are okay, $2,100 just to work shit jobs like at McDonald's and get the minimum, no credit cards to buy groceries. Mommy said Chinese citizens would go without as a sign of solidarity. Americans would just cry on the internet. Well, oh, you need to go and look up on the internet, China, and tell me if you see solidarity there, because they was cutting up. I think it was on Monday night. Oh, they was cutting up. So they probably used to be like that, but right now, oh, they cutting up. Oh, they're beyond crying. I think somebody even lost their life. Like, you got casualties popping off. Oh, they are in their feelings. So it's a new day. Oh, it's a new day. To me, I feel like from what I've seen, the American people are handling things right now better than those Chinese people are, because they are going in. Oh, get into it. Google it. It's going down in China. They are cutting up. Fish said, thank God I can still work a job at 67. Otherwise, I would be facing homelessness. My fault. Yes, having to work 10 more years is going to be Yes, listen, Fish, it's not just you. My mother, she works at Amazon, and she's been telling me since like last year in 24 how there are so many people who have been forced to come out of retirement because they can't afford to live. Like the with the inflation, the social security check they got coming in, maybe whatever they got from retirement check is not enough. So she's like, they're well in their 70s and above working at Amazon, where they were retired, but they came out of retirement because they can't afford it. So you're not alone. You're not alone. And my mother, she thinks about that as herself. She just made, I think 54. I think she just made 54. So here I'm sorry, 64. So here for her in the USA, retirement would be like 67. She says she can't even think about retirement because with the way she's a single woman, empty nester, kids grown, got grandkids, it's just her. And it's still hard for her to even support herself. It's hard for her to even support herself with the way things are going. So with me being the oldest of four kids, like as I think about making money, getting to, I think about her. Like, okay, she's not going to always be able to work. I think about, okay, will she have to come live with me one day? Will I have to buy a bigger house? Because right now my mother-in-law is in the house with me. Like, I think about these type of things, and I know other adult children who thinks about those type of things as well, where they're thinking about, okay, what's going to happen with my parents? One family member, she just learned that her father, who gets a social security check, the government this month didn't give him, I don't know how it normally works with his check, but normally he gets one deposit. His last check, it was broken out between two payments. So if you're someone who has your bills scheduled, where you have the monies come out your account because okay, I get a deposit on the 1st, so it's okay to start having monies come out on the 5th, the 4th, the 15th, anytime after my deposit. Well, now, from what I've learned from this family member, from her father, his social security check has now been broken out into two payments. So he just get two separate payments. So he got to regroup and figure out, okay, how am I going to pay my bills? This due on this day. I'm only getting partial of my money by that point. So I got to try to figure out what I can do, if I can make some phone calls to see if they'll allow for me to move my payment due date back. Because now that the government has changed how my pay is and they've broken out my payments, like, people are going through it. And again, this is someone who's on a fixed income, retired, collecting social security. Like, but these are the concerns that people have. Vincent said, if you're relying on social security, you failed somewhere. Yes, here's the thing, even with that, I think I think what's happening is that people know that social security wasn't going to be like the end all be all. But what's happening is that because of inflation and the cost of things going up, it's impossible for you to really fully be able to prepare for that like that with the way inflation is going up, because it's quickly going up. We're seeing inflation go up faster, I believe, in today's times than in the past. So how do you prepare for that inflation factor? Okay, I'm gonna have this social security. It's probably gonna be about maybe $1,400. Then I got some other money coming in from maybe like money I put aside for retirement. So you're trying to do the best you can to project and to try to predict how much money you're gonna need to take care of just your day to day. But as you're living, you're seeing things go up, and it's just like, oh snap! Like I didn't I didn't budget for that. First of all, I didn't have enough money to even budget for that. So this is like a situation that a lot of people are in. They can't keep up. It's like I'm trying to save, but it's almost impossible to save in a way to really keep up with how quickly the cost of things is going up. Like how? And this is just me looking at it from just the point of view of just different people who have been spending the last 20, 30 years trying to save and be at a place to where they're good. Some people during the pandemic, uh, they went into early retirement. A lot of companies were offering the early retirement packages because they couldn't afford to keep everyone employed with them. So in their 50s, they were taking retirement packages. You didn't plan for that. You didn't plan for at 59 to be retiring from your place of employment. You were budgeting, so therefore you can retire maybe at 67. But because something happened, it shortchanged your whole experience. Okay, well there go your money now. You gotta try to regroup and figure out how you finna kind of make up for that now that you're not working for that job that maybe paid a good amount of money. Now you're at, say, at Amazon. My mother, the situation happened with her with working for the airline. So she did an early retirement. So happened Amazon was part-time work for her at the time. She would have never thought Amazon would now be the full-time job. So that's what's been the full-time job. So I mean, a lot of things. It's easier said than done. And when you're experiencing it's just like you're like, I hear what you're saying, but I couldn't do it that way. It sounds nice. It sounds good that to be that prepared, but I just the based off of my situation, I didn't have enough money like that to put that type of money aside. I didn't have that type of money. So, I mean, this is just a situation. People got different situations, and clearly a vast majority of the American people have their situation is they have more bills than money to pay. Um, Vincent said the problem is most people receiving it never paid into the amount they're receiving. Honestly, if you never hit your 160,000, you shouldn't complain about it. Save your own money and invest it. Um, Uncapped Uncapped Bruce says, when your paycheck doesn't take you home, how can you save? Then the unexpected expenses wipe your savings out. That's that stuff I'm talking about right there. Like you try your best to plan and to predict, but life be life, and especially in like these since the last 5 years, people have encountered challenges that they just would have never even thought. A lot of people aren't even here with us anymore. A lot of people, as a result of what popped off in the 5 years, are dealing with medical conditions that cost money that they're having to find money to pay for, whether it's for themselves, their kids, their parents. Listen, it sounds nice to prepare, but it just hasn't worked out that way clearly for a lot of people. Emily says, start teaching economics in middle school, not DI doctrine classes. I like that. Yes, I think that's the thing they don't teach you. That listen, they got you required to take Spanish. How many people know Spanish? But though they not requiring you to take something that's gonna benefit your life and your livelihood. But they making you, where I live, you got to take 2 years of like a second language. 2 years of a second language. That for most people, you're not going to be fluent after just taking a language in high school for 2 years. You're going to need to take that longer, take that around the clock. It's going to be more than 2 years. What the heck is the point of requiring that when you can require economics where someone can learn how to budget, how to balance a checkbook, all of those things? No, no, no. They don't want you to learn that. To me, it feels as though the government wants to have you in debt in a situation so therefore you can be dependent upon them. I don't know. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on that one. But to me, it's given that they'd rather us be in a situation and to have to be reliant upon them than to be independent. That's just for me. Family says it's not a setup for a single person. Um, Brian says people worry too much. You're saying people worry too much about it. Um, we gonna see. It's a lot of people worried about these things. It's a lot of people worry about these things, so that's why I come out here and talk about them because they're heavy in the news. If you got a bill that's due on the 5th, it behooves you to try to figure out where that money gonna come from, so therefore you can pay it on the 5th. I mean, you got to give it some type of thought. You got to give this stuff some type of thought because for most people, it's not just gonna miraculously go away just because you choose to not look that way. It doesn't mean that it's not over there. It doesn't mean it's not over there. What's up, Rizza? Welcome. Fish says, medical situations, right? Who could plan on a mom surviving dementia for 12 years, sis, and having to look out for her in a nursing home for 10 years? That's that stuff I'm talking about, Fish. We can talk all day long about how to plan, but when life happens, the plan, we always like the saying when they say, tell God, tell the Lord your plan and watch him laugh. How many of us have a plan, have had a plan, and then you see, and then the way things turned out, it just was nothing like what your plan was? Because that was your plan, not his plan. That was your plan. That was your plan. So we out here, we do the best we can doing work. Since I'm 50, I've been investing in the stock market since I was 20. People joked because I wouldn't come to the club and spend money. Smart man. And here's the thing about things like that within our community, the Black community, savings, investing, historically, those haven't been deep conversations. Now where you'll see people of color and things like that, Black people talking about stocks and things like that. But 10 plus years ago, like, that wasn't heavy out there, where people that look like me was like giving out, sharing free game, giving out game, talking about, hey, do this is how you invest or whatever. So we're kind of late to the party when it comes to like this investment thing. And whereas other groups of people, other race of people, like, they talk to their children about this, like when they're little, they show them how to invest. They watch dad, sell stocks, move things around. First of all, hell, I didn't say it, dad. A lot of us in my community didn't even grow up having a dad in the house to even learn those type of things from. So we got a late start when it came to a lot of things centered around like money and finances and things like that. But I think, now we're more educated in ways that we weren't before, but it's almost like it's late. It's late. We're behind. You can start today with trying to do things, but we're kind of like behind when it comes to a lot of things centered around savings and being fiscally responsible and things like that. Those are things that I wish that growing up would have just been embedded in me just from when I was knee high, like other races of people when they talk to their children. That's why it's important to learn these things, so therefore we can share the information with our children and with other people. Each one teach one. And a lot of us, like, we just didn't know. You don't know what you don't know, right? We just didn't know. Eric says we were way more business oriented during that time of Black Wall Street. Times change. Uncap says, hey, they definitely need to teach finance in school. No, they're not doing that. In the one class I took, And my senior year was accounting, and that was an elective, and that's just because I chose to take that. It wasn't like it was a requirement. Now in college there was a finance course that I took, but everybody don't go to college. So if you didn't go to college and you didn't take finance in high school, then you just don't know. You're just going to try to learn on your own. And how many people are out here trying to learn finance on their own? It just doesn't happen like that. Anthony says knowledge is power. Each one teach one. The other wife says, my parents only talked about getting a job. Yes, well, I was raised mostly in a house with a single mom, and the message I got was to, yeah, get a job. Go to college if you want to, but it wasn't like heavy where it was a push, but it was definitely like, hey, get a job. It was no conversations about how to save, investment. Like these are things like my mom, she didn't know about these things. She was literally someone who worked like that's paycheck to paycheck to keep food on the table, a roof over our head, clothes on our back, like many other people's story. So those other extras that about saving and investing, there was no extra money to do any of those things. It wasn't there. That just wasn't our situation. It just wasn't there. So I wasn't raised in an environment where I knew what it looked like to save or to invest. Those are lessons I had to learn over the years of my own from just getting in conversations with just other people who knew more than me asking questions. And I still don't know a whole lot, but I know more than what I did. Tracy says, how is mom doing today? Mom is still working and trying to figure out how retirement is going to be possible at 67, because she makes enough to take care of herself or whatever, but not enough to save and for the rainy day. And of course, as we all agree, Social Security isn't enough. She was forced out into early retirement during the pandemic from a very good paying job during that time, as she try to get other employment, um, monies from severance and things like that. She had to live off of it. So Tracy says, as father retired at 80. So right now it's looking like she's going to be working, unless I, can, am fortunate enough to take care of her. She'll be working and going into her 70s. Like that's the way it's looking. It is looking like she's going to be working, in her 70s. She's in good shape, no health problems. So that's um beneficial to her. But how many people have good health? So many people have poor health today. So especially for her age group, most people in her age group are on some type of prescription medication, physically struggle with just maneuver. Like people be struggling. People be struggling. And so she's in excellent condition for her age. So she sees herself physically being able to still work in her 70s, but mentally, emotionally, like you're not trying to do that at that point in your life. It's like you're tired, you're ready to just kick your heels up, and rest. And and she says she doesn't really see herself being able to do that at 67. She don't know when she'll be able to do it, but for sure not at 67. And that's just like around the corner, because I think she just made 64 this year. So what, 3 years? No. Mm-mm. Not unless, God willing, I'm able to kind of supplement things for her, or have her, underneath my roof. But otherwise, that's what it's looking like. That is what it's looking like. Eric said, this is why I'm an advocate for black marriages. Find you someone you can struggle with. Me too, Eric, because she's been married a couple of times, divorced, but that's me too. I'm with you on that, because I'm married. I've been married over 20 years. So it makes a difference when you have a partner to help versus trying to do it on your own. It makes a difference. And then with black women, a big majority of black women are single, never been married. Most of the babies in our community are born out of wedlock. So a lot of women are just doing it by themselves. They don't have anybody to depend on. And then their adult children, they're trying to make it do what it do. So they don't really have it like that to really kind of take care of them like that financially with just footing the bill for everything. I think a lot of adult children do the best they can, but they don't have it like that to just fully take care of them. Like, but right now, I can't fully take care of my mom, but I'm working towards to getting to a place to where by the time she's at a retirement age, being better positioned to be able to have her at least maybe even live with me, or where I can help supplement income for her, and then maybe with the help of my siblings. But these are the things that I think about, yeah, as I think about the situation with her. um the other wife. So you are a good daughter. Thank you so much. She let her tell it. She think that we just don't. I'm glad you recognize it. I think that a lot of times some parents, they don't recognize that their children do the best that they can in that time, and that they just can't do more at that time. But it doesn't mean that they do not have the desire to do more, or that they don't work hard every day to get to that place to be able to do more. So there's a lot of reasons why I hustle, I work hard, I do what I do. Y'all see me doing these lives. Y'all know I'll be on these lives for, listen, I'll be on these lives for a long time, but listen, it's a method to the madness. Listen, I be working. I be working. So I got some other stuff too. Let me see. Am I gonna have y'all want to ride home with me? Let me see what else I want to talk about, or do I want to just start another live? I don't know. We might start another live. I don't know. My daughter just finished soccer. I may get stationary, get to my house, and talk to you all some more, because I have some other things I want to talk to you all about that I did not get to. Immigration. Listen, Florida, they down there making history. They rounded them up. They are rounding them up. Um, they are rounding them up in Florida. Did y'all see that? They rounded up like 1,100 illegal immigrants over the course of a week in Florida. Listen, we all going through it. The people in the Hispanic community, they like, Sheik, we going through it too. We might not have student loans to deal with, but we got struggles too. We got struggles too. Rizza said, I'm here. I'm here. I'm behind the wheel for a minute, but I'm listening. Okay. Thank you so much. So yeah, over the past week, um, in Florida, they did this mass like roundup of illegal immigrants. Yeah, like they proud. They did like a news conference and everything. I got some notes on that. When I get to my destination, get to back to my house, I'll be able to kind of share more details about that. But just from going off of just what I remember, yeah, they said that most of the 60% of the people who come to who cross the border. Did you all know that 60% of the people who cross the border actually go to Miami? Like that's their destination. Like that's where they go. So most of the illegal immigrants, they're in Florida. So they're saying, so for any of y'all who happen to be a part of that group, they did a roundup of 1,100 people. It was more than 1,100 people. It was 1,100 plus. My title said 1,100, but yeah, it was more. I just ran out of space to add the plus. They rounded up over 1,100 people over the course of the week using ICE and state and local law enforcement. It was a team effort. What they say, it takes teamwork to make the dream work. So it was a team effort. And over the course of a week, they were able to round up over 1,100 illegal immigrants. And they said that they do have plans to continue stings operations like that. They got a special name that they called it, that they called that little roundup. Let me see what they called it. Operation Tidal Wave. They call it Operation Tidal Wave. Child, they proud. They trying to get in the Guinness Book of World Records or something, because they like, listen, ain't nobody ever done this. This is like the most. Like they really happy about this number. And they are like, listen, we need this tidal wave to go across the nation to where other states can do similar type of tactics to round up illegal immigrants. They said, listen, before we even started rounding them up, we were sending out messages, reaching out to them, letting them know, hey, it's time for you to roll up out of here. It's time for you to go home. And they said majority of them just, they didn't listen. They still stuck around. They were like, listen, we've been trying to work with the people. We've been trying to work with the people, but they didn't want to listen. So we had to do what we had to do. And we were successful at it. They was like, when President Trump came into office back in January, what did he called it? He put into law. What did he say? He said we were. What did he say? He put into a law. He said basically that we were kind of like in an emergency where things are so bad with illegal immigrations to where Trump's like immediately, we need to round up, we need to protect the borders. Like that was basically the directive that he gave to ICE federal agents: get to the border, block the borders. This is ridiculous. Biden, and he lost his everlasting mind when he let these people just come in here like this. It's out of control, and we have to get it back under control because this is not going to work. We cannot continue to operate this way with open borders. We cannot do it, and we will not do it. We cannot, and we will not. Today the borders are secured at like 99.9%. Like that's a crazy percentage rate of how secure the borders are. They have not been that secure since the borders are, Tom Homan said, since early 80s. I think when he started working underneath the in the government with helping to protect the borders, he was like he's never seen like the numbers as low as they are. The numbers are low, and Trump was able to do all of this in 7 weeks. He's been able to do in 7 weeks where Biden either chose to not do or could not do in 4 years. Like, make it make sense. To me, it just gave that the Biden administration just had no interest in wanting to secure the border. Like, I don't even know how else you slice it and dice it. He just didn't want to secure it. But that's all right. Trump said, that's all right. We got it. We got it now. We got it now. We'll secure it. Will secure it, and they are 1,100. So given that it's 1,100 people that they rounded up, it's likely that now these people are at detention centers because it's been a lot of back and forth with the different judges and things about Trump being able to put people on planes and things like that. So I didn't hear just yet as far as with what they're going to be doing with these. From my understanding, they're saying that these people are to go back to their home countries, but I don't know, because y'all know how when these judges step in, I don't know if there'll be a judge that'll step in to block him from sending these people back to their home countries, because who knows how many countries it is. If it's over 1,100 people, how many countries are represented amongst these 1,100 people. When Trump took office, he said it was more than 15 million illegal immigrants in the U.S. 15 million. That's crazy, yo. Like more than 15 million. Like, I wonder, we're nowhere near, we're not even in the millions with rounding up people. I haven't heard any numbers that add up to the millions. We're still just in the thousands. We're rounding people up. So there's a lot of illegal immigrants here. And quite frankly, I really don't see it being possible for the Trump administration to round up everybody. I mean, that's just too many people. It's just too many people for it to get to most of them, or at least a good half of them, to be rounded up. It's going to require presidents to also follow suit with what he's doing. How many of you think that any other president outside of Trump will aggressively round up illegal immigrants the way he is, even if they are Republicans? Like, can you all see anyone else like putting in that work, that type of energy like President Trump has? And he's only he just made 100 days on Tuesday. Trump is a different type of beat. Like, he real different. I don't see it. I don't see it. And the thing I don't want to see is that once he's no longer in office, things just go back to the way they were and everything gets undone where the borders are now back open and these people, a lot of them are criminals, um, come back. Like, this is what I wouldn't want to see. And the sad part about it is that it's a good chance that it can happen because there are so many people who are not here for what he's doing. A lot of politicians aren't. I hear more regular everyday people that are here for it more so than like politicians. A lot of politicians aren't here for it, and they are the ones who have control over, whether or not to follow suit with what he's doing or to undo it. I think most of this stuff that this man is doing, they gonna undo it. I just think most of it is going to be undone. That's what I think. Even though I'm here for a lot of the things like that he's done with the executive orders, I just realistically, I know that a lot of these politicians aren't, and they will undo what he's done. Yeah, that's what I think. Let me know if you think otherwise, because look how much pushback he gets. It makes sense to me. He doesn't get a lot of support. These other politicians, even if they are Republicans, they don't really support him like that. It's more people that don't like that man than like him. His peers do. Collectively, as a collective, his peers don't like him. It's a lot of regular people don't like him, but dang sure his peers don't like him. They don't like him. No, mm-mm. No, they don't. How often you hear a politician speaking favorably for about Trump unless they're a part of his administration? The only people you hear say warm and fuzzy things about that man are people who are underneath his administration, people who got sworn into office once he got elected. But just peers within politics, Republicans, conservatives, them people don't be saying nothing nice about that man. They low key don't like him. I think they be cussing him out when they're at home. They don't like him. They do not like him. Texted because he's horrible. Like, why do you think he's horrible? I think he's different. I don't think he's horrible. He's very different. He's very different. But for the most part, with how he moves, I like his assertiveness. I like how he stands on business. He's 10 toes down. He don't talk about it. He is about it. Like, I just like that. Yeah, like if he say it, you can just pretty much kind of count on it. Like, he's pretty consistent. I think he's more consistent than other politicians, other presidents that I've seen, the things he's ran on as far as what he wants to see done. For the most part, I've seen him implement, and a lot of just what he's implemented, he's just done it in a way that's kind of just more firm than many of us would have thought. But he did what he said. It's just that many of us didn't think he'd do it like that, but he did it. So he stands on business. So I like that. I can respect somebody who stands on business, who does what they say. Like, that means a lot to me. If you're a man, if you say, okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it. And for the most part, what I've seen from him, the things he said like he was gonna do, he's done it now. He's done it. But I also, understand why a lot of people are upset, because a lot of people livelihood has been impacted by a lot of these changes that he's made. So I get it, with people feeling a certain type of way because of the impact that it's had on their lives. So I get it. Everybody just hasn't been impacted the same way. I haven't been impacted by things the way, say, the next person has. But it's okay. But I feel like with everything, and at the end of the day, everyone will be impacted in some type of way, because we all live in, if you're an American that lives in the US, we're all living. The way we're moving, how we got to move, is centered around him. He's the leader of the country. So you're going to be impacted. It's just a matter of how. But you'll be impacted. We're all impacted. But I feel like the bulk of us are just moving on a wing and a prayer. The best we can do is stay abreast of what's going on. Y'all better listen to the press conferences and see what they talking about. You better listen to see what they talking about so you can better prepare for what's to come. That's what I do. I listen in, I take notes, and I come out here and I share the information that I've learned, and I hear what you all have to say about it. That's what I do, because I'm not implementing none of this. Like literally, like I'm just coming out here sharing it. So don't get mad at me. I'm just putting the information out here. I know sometimes it sounds crazy and it sounds like it's made up, but I promise y'all, like the information I share with you all, it's like legit information that's out there that you can also go out there and find. And on my channel, I just choose to come out here and share the information as I learn it, and hope that somehow you can benefit from it in some type of way, whether you prepare for what's to come, you be able to share with your family and friends. But that, listen, I am not gonna gatekeep. It ain't no gatekeeping over here. When I know, you know. So that's just how it goes down over here on Chic Speaks on It. So if you're into that type of thing and you want to be in the know and you want the information delivered to you in a way that you're not going to be left confused because of the real life examples that I give, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're really feeling funky, go ahead and become a member. $2.99. We got the formerly Timu price is $2.99. The reason why I say formerly, because Timu says it ain't $2.99 no more. With these tariffs, our prices, we can't even do $2.99. We got these tariffs that's costing more than these products. We got the tariffs. So I have the formerly Timu prices. I have $2.99 memberships. So please feel free to join the membership, become a political honor student. Your name will show up in color, like you may see some in the chat, and your comments will be prioritized. So, but just by simply becoming a subscriber of this channel, you would just be an honor student. As honor students, we are lifetime learners. We elevate, we do our research, we ask questions, uh, and we rise to the occasion. This is what we do as honor students over here. So if that speaks to your soul, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, and or become a member. Any type of support, like the video, super chats are welcome too, as low as $1.99. Your name and comment will also show up in color, and again, it will be prioritized. And if I'm able to, I will read it. And if I can't read it at that time, once I become stationary and I'm not moving, driving, I will read your comments. I'll read your comments. I'm almost to my destination, so I'll be able to read some more of your comments. Let me know, how are you all feeling about these immigration, these roundups, the 1,100 plus people in Florida. Do any of you live in Florida, have family in Florida? Are you impacted any by what's going down in Florida? Because it's going down, and they made it very clear that it's not stopping. So listen, it's a new day. It is a new day. They just want to let you know what popped off in the first 100 days, but there are plenty more days to come where they are going to be rounding illegal immigrants up. What they say, you can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't hide. And some of these people that they rounded up were like people who did really, really bad crimes, like murder, SA, trafficking, kidnapping, like crazy stuff. So these ain't just some regular church going people that you sitting on the side of them at Sunday service, or you seeing at your Bible study on Wednesday. Heck, some of them probably do be attending the church with you, but I'm just gonna tell you some of the other stuff that some of them are likely doing. So just give me a minute. Just made it back to my home, and I will get into the comments and learn your thoughts about all that is going on. Can you all still hear me? Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Sometime my Bluetooth jacks me up. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes, thank you, Dr. J. Thank you, thank you. I just made it back home, so My reception isn't the best right here in my driveway, so I am going to move to the front of my house where it's better. Hold on. All right, thank you for your patience. We made it, we've arrived. Let me see. I want to share some notes that I took pertaining to the round today. So, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button. He says they have communicated to tens of thousands of illegal immigrants that they must leave the U.S. immediately, and many have refused to do so. When President Trump took the office back in January, there were more than 15 million illegal aliens in the U.S. When Trump took the office, he also declared that there was a national emergency, and he ordered ICE and other federal agents to secure the borders. It was an order. It was an order. In 7 weeks, the federal agents have effectively secured the borders and restored our nation's sovereignty, according to Larry Keith, the executive director for the state of board of the immigration enforcement. The borders are now 99.99% effectively secured, and 60% of the legal immigrants that crossed the borders made their way to Florida. So and that they got to get that under control, because most of these people who are coming into the U.S., they are going to Florida, and they're like, listen, we're not welcoming them here. Tech support says what's needed are policies that restore labor's bargaining power, like strengthening unions, raising the minimum wage, and taxing wealth more equitably. Okay. Eric says if you can come to a country and take advantage of a birthright citizenship, the 13th Amendment, you should at least be willing to compensate the people who provided the plate to eat off of. Um, Eric says 270 years of free labor gave the country a head start towards becoming the superpower that it is. That is very true. Very true. And still we are way behind. Way behind. Way behind. Let me try to read some more of these comments. Let's see. Eric said, let them all stay and tax the hell out of them and send that money into the black communities. Um, and Cappy said, we ship a lot of, and some do not speak English, shows up in Crocs or flip flops. Tech support said many of these encounters are repeat crossers, meaning the same individuals may be counted multiple times. Okay. There was I have some descriptions of some of the people who they picked up. So, part of the arrests were Mexican and Brazilian nationals with a history of kidnapping. And then there was Colombian nationals who were convicted of murder. So I'm like, dang, the ones that was convicted of murder, would that mean they were convicted in their countries and made their way to the U.S.? Because how are you convicted of murder and they just rounded you up? Like, because in my mind, when I'm thinking someone's convicted, like you went through the court system, they didn't let you go home and they put you behind bars. So, given the fact that they said they arrested convicted murderers, I'm like, okay, I was just trying to understand what went wrong, where how these convicted murderers were out on the streets to be able to be picked up. I don't know. That's what I was wondering. But anyway, Press Secretary Caroline, listen. Caroline's still saying that she tired of y'all asking her about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. She said, listen, don't ask me about that man no more. Don't ask me. So today she spoke with Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller, And they basically said that they stand firmly on the decision that was made to send Kilmar Brego Garcia to El Salvador because of his criminal activities, which included trafficking, domestic violence against his wife. But also, Caroline said that on his knuckles, which was a new one to me, I hadn't heard this. Caroline said that on Bray Kilmar's knuckles, he has MS-13 tattooed on him. So remember, this is the same man that they said that wasn't gang affiliated. And he don't know what you're talking about when you talk about MS-13. He like, who that is? I don't know what you're talking about. She says that he had the MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. So I thought that was quite interesting. But like I said, I've already learned way more information than that had me to believe that, yeah, that man is where he needs to be. But MS-13 being tatted on your knuckles, then I don't know why you would be putting that on your knuckles if you're not affiliated. I don't know, but that's what she said. That's what she said. Bree says they released them to come to the U.S. instead of housing them, and they didn't have the cost. Subaru says could be a solution, Erica, but it's kind of encourage illegals to come over, and some could be identified way later and slowly erodes the U.S. economy. Mark says, so if they were convicted of murder in foreign country, they were released by their country to come here. Okay, Mark, because I was trying to understand. I'm like, okay, well, damn, were they convicted back home? Because how are they here if you're saying convicted? But I had been hearing things like that where um, in other countries where they would release their criminals or whatever, and then they were coming over here to the U.S., which is why like we had a lot of like the worst of the worst people over here because their leaders are like, listen, just go on now, just leave, let's leave here, just leave here. But I'm pretty sure a lot of these countries are not happy about these people being on their way back because a lot of their streets is probably cleared up, cleaned up, and not as bad as they used to because the criminals fled. They left. President Bukele, the president of El Salvador, they have the cleanest streets in Central America. It wasn't always like that, but he was like, we worked hard to clean up our streets. And I'm sure a lot of those people, if they didn't make their way behind bars, and end up at Seacock, they made their way here to the USA. So a lot of those people who were doing the absolute most, they left and came over here. They went to other places. Listen, we got to be vigilant. We got to be vigilant. But Mayor DeSantis was like, but don't worry about it, Sheik. We got you. We listen. We rounded them up. We rounded them up. We rounded them up and tell Governor Kemp he need to get on this type of time too and start rounding them up as well. But our Governor Kemp did say about a month ago that they were like ready to support ICE and get local, enforcement officers trained up to be able to help. So I know recently, not in my community, about I probably reported on it maybe about 3 weeks ago. There was a large bus with sting with some illegal immigrants, some trafficking. It was all kind of janky stuff going on. You really didn't hear about it on the mainstream, but I reported it on my channel. So it's on one of my many videos. I go live all the time, you all. So if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I go live just about daily, sometimes twice a day. And I just report on a lot of information I share. It's information that's not being reported by like your mainstream outlets. I'm like, that's all right. I'll report on it. The word will spread. My little channel will not be little forever. We are growing. Believe it or not, we were at like 500 back in February. Look at the numbers now. It's somewhere in the thousands. So we are growing. We are spreading the word. And it's just about just enlightening and informing people of what's really going on because I don't have an allegiance really to anybody to only report certain information. So over here, I report the good, the bad, and the ugly. Even though I voted for Trump, I don't always be here for his shenanigans. So if there are things that he's doing that I don't like, I will talk about it. Sometimes people be over here and they be confused about my stance because listen, everybody can get this work. If you're doing stupid stuff, making dumb decisions, I'm going to talk about it. So sometimes on this channel, I would talk about the craziness that the Trump administration is doing that I'm not here for. And then I talk about the stuff I am here for. So it's pretty balanced over here. Most people find my channel to be very balanced. I'm very balanced. I talk about everything. If it says everyone like and subscribe, like and subscribe. Road to 3,000. Road to 3,000. Um, Subaru says, Eric, kind of true, but the thing is, being illegal is all about coming here as undeclared so they can job markets and take jobs over because of the employers don't have to manage taxes and stuff. And just the unfortunate thing, too, when you deal with, like, here's my thing. I truly, truly, truly do not believe that most people who are illegal immigrants that come over here, they come over here with the intent to harm people, to commit crimes. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. On one of my lives, I don't know if I have my notes here, I did share some information on the stats of like the people in the detention center as far as the percentage of them that have like committed crimes, and it's a good number of them. But I really feel like you have a lot of people who come over here who truly like want to come and just make a better life for themselves and their families. Like, I do believe that. I think we got a lot of hardworking people here who happen to be illegal immigrants. But at the same time, I feel like that there's a way that we do things, and you gotta do things the right way. You just gotta do things the right way. And so I'm just like, hey, come over here, but come over here the right way. You have to be documented. You can't skip the line and not go through the process that many people who are here went through. And that's why a lot of people who are from the Hispanic community they said they voted for Trump and are here for their rounding up of illegal immigrants, because they're like, yo, when I came over here, when my parents came over here, my grandparents came over here, they came over here the right way. So a lot of them don't appreciate people just kind of jumping the line and then skirting around the process to come over here when they did things the right way. So they're like, yo, like, I'm not here for them just doing things the wrong way, because that's not fair. So this is why some people may wonder, like, why some people from the Latin community are not in support of like certain people and how they move. This is why they're just like, listen, we just want people to do things the right way, like we did, or our family or our ancestors did. I mean, that's pretty much it. Serena says, that's what we need, Chic. We need unbiased opinions. Reason why media is going down. Thank you so much for that, Serena. And that's why I like my little piece of the internet. Very often people ask me about politics and ask me or encourage me to go into politics and things like that. And my reason as to why I have no interest in doing that is because I don't want to be censored. I don't want nobody trying to tell me what to say, how to say it, because they going to be mad at me. They going to be hit with all kind of lawsuits, getting phone calls, because no telling what y'all been heard me say on the airwaves, because I'm going to talk my talk. And I understand that when you work for these big networks, you don't have that freedom to kind of express yourself on that level, because you're representing the network. And if the network is pushing a certain agenda, and then you got to kind of roll with that. If y'all haven't noticed yet, like Fox, you see Fox is heavy Trump. CNN is heavy like Democrat, Biden, Kamala. You see what I'm saying? Chic over here, it depends on, everybody can get it. I am independent. If somebody doing something stupid and I feel like it's stupid, I'm going to talk about it. If somebody doing something and I feel like, yeah, like, listen, I'm here for that, I'm going to talk about it. That's why I'll be over here in this corner by myself. Y'all don't be seeing me collaborating with nobody, because, listen, these are my opinions. And I know I've been to piss somebody off. I piss people off all the time in my comments. And it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to do me. I'm going to give me, be me every time I go live. And that's just something you can count on. You can count on. If I say it, this is just how I feel, and it has nothing to do with somebody putting a batter in my back to tell me to say, to feel, or to have set beliefs. That's what it's about over here. So if y'all ride with that type of thing, if you can relate, this is a place for you. You can talk your talk in the comments respectfully. It's just about just being respectful to one another, my moderators, to me as a host. Just act like you got some sense. Just to sum it up, just act like you got some sense. Uncapped says, I've looked to export to Mexico from US 30,000. Must show you have to show you have proof of some income, not looking for a job. Wow. Mm. Subaru says, all in all, I think what Trump did was necessary at this point. All the U.S. industries left for China for the cheap labor wages so business owners can later invest in some other stuff. Bree says, majority don't. The problem is the work under the table. They live several families in one home. They use our welfare, Medicaid, and they take our empty level jobs that our youth need to learn. Yes, I've heard a lot of parents talk about how now since the whole immigration, things are, the Trump administration is trying their best to get things under control. They're happy about the idea of their children, their youth having jobs because um, I've seen, I've heard some people talk about where they live this person who I heard say this, they were in California. They were like all of like the jobs, like at the restaurants, the fast food jobs where your children what get like they were pretty much all like Hispanic. This people from the Hispanic community were working those jobs, so their child like couldn't get a job. Let me tell y'all when I knew things was real different. When I went into, I guess it's about 2 years ago, when I went inside of a soul food restaurant within my community, and all the cooks was Hispanic. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. It probably was a little even longer than that, y'all. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I was not ready for that moment where I was in the soul food restaurant and the cooks were Mexican. Like I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. I wasn't ready. That's when I really, it hit me like, wow, things are real different. Things are real different. I'm wondering at that same restaurant if they still sold up deep in the kitchen. I don't know, because I ain't been in a while. I ain't been in a while. Okay, I said that's hilarious. Listen, I was confused. I was. I was. I was confused as I stood in line and placed my order and paid my money and ate the food. They tasted really good. But I was confused. I was confused. Athena says, funny that can't be drafted but reap the benefits. Dr. J says, wow, soul food restaurant with Mexican cooks. Yes. Yep, it was a mini. I think all the cooks, as they were coming out from the back of the kitchen and bringing the food and replacing. And yes, I was just like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I haven't been there in a while, so I might have to go there just to see if they still in there. Just to see, yes. And I think when that happened, it was probably within the last 5 years. I'm going to say when I took notice of that, it had to been, yeah, since 2020 when I saw that. And I just wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. It's like going into the Mexican restaurant and I'm seeing the black cooks in the kitchen. Like that's just not something I'm ready to see that I haven't seen yet. I haven't seen that one yet. The Mexican restaurants still have the Mexican cooks in my neck of the woods. But the soul food restaurants got the Mexican cooks. Listen, the Mexican, they like, listen, we can do it all. Gee, what you want? Collard greens, sweet potatoes, what you want? What you want? We can do that too. We can do that too. And they was doing the doggone thing. I was like, okay. What else am I gonna say? What else am I gonna say? They like, gee, we make banana pudding too. We can read a recipe. Yes, y'all. I need to go into the Jamaican spot and see if they up in there. I'm really gonna be done. Listen, y'all, we might have to do some field trips. I'm gonna take y'all. We gonna be on live. We gonna hit the Mexican restaurant, the soul food restaurant, and the Jamaican restaurant. Child, and if we mess around and see him in a Chinese restaurant, then that's when you just know. Like, listen, we are in different times. We are in different times. I guess the New Orleans got some right. We are in different times. Listen, they everywhere. Like the community, the listen, they everywhere. They are everywhere. Subaru says Democrats' globalist way is kind of interesting still, as it brings prices down for local consumers, and business owners can scale up the new profit for new business ideas and maybe invest in the USA. Holographic says you have a nice smile. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Welcome. Y'all hit the like button. Hit the like button. We got a little bit more juice. I've got my battery pack on my phone, so we'll stick around a little bit longer to shoot the breeze. But yeah, I just want to share just the updates. I didn't have a whole lot of updates for y'all, but when I saw the updates, centered around the student loan, the information that I learned, I'm like, I got to bring it to my people. I got to bring it to my people, and I'll repeat the information that I have centered around the student loans, because some of you may have just come in. So yes, Cinco de Mayo, it's a whole new meaning. It's a new meaning this year for Cinco de Mayo. For the first time in 5 years, the defaulted student loans will be resulting in reporting of defaults to the credit unions. So yeah, you right along with them late car payments and late mortgage payments will be reporting of defaulted student loans. So that is to come. Uh, the collection of your tax refunds. So they are here to collect your tax refund. So if you do not pay them, they said, that's all right. That's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll just take it out of this. Don't even worry about it. You don't even need a postal stamp. We'll just go and take it from your tax. We're the feds. We see it first anyway. No worries. You know, no worries. Also, they said, also, if you don't want to be proactive with paying us, that's fine. We'll just take it out of your paycheck. No worries. We'll have conversation with your employer. You listen. You don't even have to take the time to just stop, write out a check, swipe a card, buy a postage stamp. We'll just go directly to the source where your money come from. No worries. We're here to help you. We're here to work with you. This is how they trying to work with you. Also, Social Security benefits. Yeah, I know it's hard out here. That Social Security check that you rely on. Listen, you have a new bill. You have another bill. You have a bill that's really been here for a while, but you just did not pay it. We'll just go ahead and just take ours from your Social Security benefits. No worries. It's just a convenient way. We'll just get ours before you get yours. No worry, y'all. This is how they trying to look out for you. They're saying you don't even need to make an effort. We'll get ours. We will get ours. And y'all know anytime they try to start garnishing stuff, taking money out, like it ain't no conversations had to come to an agreement on how much they gonna take out. No, they just take out what they feel like they need, what they want. Y'all know the government do what they want to do. They do what they want to do. They do what they want to do. This could impact millions of student loans borrowers, as much as 5 million plus who are currently in default. Are you one of the 5 million? Because in 2020, the government had put on hold repayment of student loans. So many people got 5 years, a 5 year break to not have to pay on student loans. But that time has come to an end. 4 million people are almost in default. So they may be about a month or two away from being in default. 4 million. So we got 5 million that's already in default. And we got another cool 4 million that's almost there. They almost there. The Department of Education estimates another 4 million borrowers could, actually another 5 million borrowers could be in default by the holidays. By November, it is estimated that there will be a total of 10 million borrowers in default by Thanksgiving. Currently, 75% of borrowers are not making payments on their student loans. 75%. So that's only 25% who are making payments. That's not good. It's not good at all. It's not good. Wayne Johnson, a former COO, of the Education Department's Office of Federal Student Aid, says that this government is not prepared for the financial impact to come. He says the impact that we are going to be impacted in a way that we've never seen before. People will be impacted on a personal level in a way that they've never been impacted before. This is what's to come. This guy used to be over. He was a top dog for the federal student aid, so he knows. He says currently people are spending hours, 10 plus hours on the phones just trying to get through to someone to talk to them about their student loans and how they can get on a payment plan and start making payments. After 10 hours of being on the phone, about 50% of them are hanging up. So you have another 50% who are still holding the line. Are you holding the line? There's another 50%. So you got 50% that are holding the line. Remember, 10 hours. Do you have 10 hours to be on hold? Then you have the other 50% that are saying, no, I don't. And they're dropping off. Why? Because they got a life to live. They got things to do. They got to go out here and make the money that you're wanting them to pay. You got to make the money, right? In order to get this money. For me to pay that bill, I got to make the money. So I can't be on the phone with you or trying to get through to you for 10 hours, 10 plus hours. The administration have told people to call the Department of Education, but they do not have the resources to handle all the calls that are coming in. They don't have the resources to handle all the calls. So what do you do? What do you do? Like at this point, you need to just do just a student loan forgiveness haul, because the government is not going to get their money. I'm just going to listen. I'm just letting y'all know they're not getting their money. They're going to get a little something coming in, but the amount of money that's owed, the trillion. Let me see. What's that number again? I said. Um, Let me see. What is that number? What is that number? What number is that? We owe, there's currently $1.6 trillion. Hey, Laura. Thanks for the super chat. How you doing? $1.6 million. So what percentage of, how much of that $1.6 trillion do you all think the government will receive? Have a good evening, Laura. What point? Because they're saying, hey, you got to start making these payments. It's $1.6 trillion. That's like what the bill is. That's how much debt that's out there. Do you think that half of that will be paid? A third of it? Like, how much of that do you think will be paid? Do you think that just because they're saying, hey, come March 5th, you need to start paying it back, that people will just be like, okay? Like, do you think most people will start paying it back? All Be True says they are paying it. They are taking it from the paychecks. Yeah. But not just the paychecks. They're saying, I'm going to hit your paychecks. I'm going to get your tax refund. It's tax season. So some people may not get their tax refund this year if they filed like late. And they say they're taking it from the Social Security check. So there's 3 different ways that they can get their money. But they're going to get it. But still, even with them getting it that way, what percentage of the $1.6 trillion will be paid even with them doing it that way? It'll be some, but will it make a dent? That's like the question. Hey, what's up, Pearl? Michael says if you don't pay it back, then take it from their income tax. Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said they're going to do. Uncap says, seriously going to hurt for a minute. Need bring manufacturing back to the U.S. today. Skeldor said that's their fault. Should have paid. I'm not paying for your choice with going to college. Laura says, and will they put liens on your home? They haven't. I haven't heard where they said anything about putting liens on the home, but it will impact you with qualifying for a home, like a loan. That already impacts you because even before all of this, when you're going through the process to to become qualified for a home loan, they're factoring in your student loans. Um, so that's already a conversation that's being had right there. Chris says if they don't pay it back, eventually your student loan will double and possibly even triple due to compounding interest. Then the government's going to make a lot more money. Yes, because here's the thing, even during these times when the government wasn't requiring for, many borrowers to pay student loans, the interest was still accumulating. You just wasn't required to have to pay the money back, but excuse me, interest was still accumulating. So you're right. I mean, a lot of people's student loans have double, triple. Yeah, that's. Anthony says a trillion recoup will help reduce inflation. Subaru says that the tuition of different colleges and advanced education. Laura says student loans are really hard to get out of. They are very serious responsibility, cannot include in bankruptcy. You're right. You cannot include student loans in bankruptcy. So I'm sure there won't be a change with that. If you could include student loans in bankruptcies, so many people would have like done that. Like almost everybody, most Americans probably would have filed bankruptcy. Chris says you're very correct. The government is going to get their money back. They loaned you on the agreement, you would pay it back. Little Twister says all the default information is in the master promissory note. Default on federal direct loans is over 270 days. So you said if you're over 270, that's the number. Thanks for that information. Over 270 days, you're in default. So what's that's near what, 6 months? How many months is that? Uncap says I don't pay my car loan or house loan, they take my stuff. You're right, that is how that works. Laura says he will have people all sell a kidney for a reduction. 270 days past due. So 30, 60, 90, 200. So with past due, that's going into how many months? For 270 days, how many months is that? Because 60 days, 2 months, 90 days, 3 months, what, 120, 4 months, so 8 months. So it takes a while then to be past due if it's going off of, that's nearing close to what, that's about 7 months. That's a good minute. 9 months. Okay, little Twister. Because I was trying to calculate. I'm like, okay, we already, okay, 9 months. That's a good bit of time that somebody has. So that's a good amount of time. So the average person, you should be able to try to work something out before 9 months is up. So you won't be in default. So that's good information to have. Thank you for that, little Twister. You got 9 months to get your life, get your affairs in order. 9 months to get your affairs in order. Little Twist said, but you can stop it before it technically hits to 90 days past due. Yes, yeah. I guess okay, so remember I said people are on hold for 10 hours. So you got 9 months. You got 9 months to work it out with being on hold to finally get through to somebody to get on a payment plan. Anthony said tuition needs to be slashed. Most Ivy League colleges have huge endowments, non taxable, accruing dividends. Listen, I clutched my visible pearls when I seen how much federal funds they were getting. When Trump, who was at Harvard, when Trump told them that he wasn't going to give them no more money, and then it started coming out with all the money that they get, we paying for that, and half of us won't ever step a day onto that campus. So I'm like, why are they getting all this federal money when they got all this, the endowment is so long? Child, the grift. Chris says, and it takes an example for myself. I had student loans that was 20,000. Was young and stupid. I'm not going to pay it back. It's now 100,000. I owe after 30 years. Listen, that's a lot of people. It's not just you. It's the interest that's getting a lot of people. It is the interest. Little Twister says, but they also had over 5 years of no payments. Listen, you right. Like people had a nice little break. Vance also showed a graph that most of the wages increase don't increase with production efficiency increase, and money is concentrated in managers. Yeah, I mean, people definitely can't, people got to admit they had a nice little break. People have had a nice little break from the student loans. Like, everyone wasn't fortunate enough to get that letter that said their student loans was forgiven, because some people did have that happen. But then there was someone in the chat who said, listen, mine was forgiven. And then they circled back around recently and took the money back, like started taking the money out my check. And it's like, wait a minute, I didn't even ask for it to be forgiven to begin with. So Chris says that, Laura, yes, I'm paying it back now and have it back down to around 60,000 after 5 years of paying more than my student loan minimum payment is. It's hard. It's hard out here, but I'm sure after May 5th, you will hear a lot of people coming online, sharing their testimonies as to how it's been going for them. Um, yeah, it's going to be more to come. The conversation isn't going to end here. It's more to come. Also, what's more to come is announcements of layoffs, job layoffs. The situation with the tariffs, the imports, the exports, it's going to result in people losing their jobs, because companies aren't going to have a need to staff as many workers, because packages. I had already reported that UPS announced already 20,000 employees being laid off this year, closing 73,000 locations, like facilities, warehouse, whatever, the stores. They're closing 73,000, and all of this is before the year is out. Now, what percentage of those 20,000 people do you think have student loans? Imagine the same month that you have to start back paying your student loans is the same month you find out that you are no longer employed. How do you prepare for that? As we talk about planning and preparation and being responsible and all of that, how do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for now uh, large increase on tariffs? Like, how do you, like, these are the questions, like, how do you prepare for these things? Subaru says, I think it would be kind of true with the automation and stuff. As more companies investing in automated pipelines, still the market will be rewired and it will take a bit of time. Yes, like, how do you prepare? Like, it's a lot. Like, I come on and go live and I talk about so many things. You all, like, how do you prepare for all of this? Like, how? I truly believe that most people, if they had it, they would have no problem with paying their debt and paying what's owed to people. I just think that's just the innate nature of just a human. You are willing to pay up what you owe to pay your debt. Just like going, most of the time when you're going in the store and you're at the checkout line, it's not very often somebody doing a snatch and grab and running. No, people will wait in line to take care of their tab, to pay their bill. This is what we do. So I believe when it comes to like these large bills like car notes and mortgages, student loans, I truly believe that, like, if people had it to pay, they would pay these bills without a problem. They would. It's just that the people just don't have it. And I understand what people are saying, well, I mean, they got the debt, you know, just like if I don't pay my car note on my house, it gets taken from me. The same should apply with, how strict they should be with student loans. I get it, but you can't ignore the fact that people cannot pay what they don't have. And there are a lot of people out here who do not have. There are a lot of people out here who are struggling and they're trying to make ends meet. They're trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents. It's just hard. And every day when we learn about just these changes, it's followed up with another bill. It's another bill we got to pay. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's beyond what people want to do. It's about, do people have the ability to meet these expectations that the government have? And as I say, the government can ask for it all day long. They can even go try to take it all day long. Hell, how you finna garnish somebody paycheck if they ain't even got a job where there is a paycheck coming in? Let's talk about it. It got to be a job, right? To be taking to garnishing paychecks. A lot of people do not have jobs. So where are you getting it from? You finna roll up on them and do a shakedown to see if they got some cash on them? Where are you getting this from? What percentage of these 20,000 of people who work for UPS who are now about to be unemployed, what percentage of those people do you think have student loans? What percentage of those people do you think may be in default or nearing default? So how is the government going to get it from their check if there is no check? Where is it coming from? It's easier said than done. Like that's what I'm like, these ideas. It sounds nice, but is it realistic with today's times? I'm always talking about just companies that are just in jeopardy of shutting down, or companies who are announcing, hey, like we got to close our doors, or we got to, reduce headcounts because we just can't afford to keep up. UPS said that the reason why they got to do the massive cuts that they're doing is because the Amazon orders aren't coming in. UPS, so they're partnered with Amazon. So like a lot of you, like when you order your packages to Amazon and you need to do a return, you go to your nearest UPS store and then they handle the return for you. Very simple and efficient, very easy. But they're like, listen, we're the packages. People aren't placing orders like that anymore for them to even be coming to our stores to want us to help them with a return. It has to start with the orders being placed first, right? The orders aren't being placed like that. My mother works for Amazon. She talks about all the time with, with the workload, with sometimes like where the work isn't coming in. It's like sometimes it'll come in and it'll be busy, but then a lot often it's not. And they're like almost begging people like to go home because guess what? As long as you're there on the clock, they have to pay you. And if they make you go home, they have to pay you. So they try to encourage employees to voluntarily leave by saying, "Hey, we won't dox you. We won't, it won't be held against you if you leave early or even if you start your shift late." But guess what? A lot of people still show up to work or stay on the clock for their full shift because they're like, "Yo, I need my money. Like I can't afford to not get all my hours. It's already not enough. So I can't afford to cut my hours because the hours that I am working is not enough. So I'm going to stay on this clock. And if you send me home and make me go home, you have to pay me." This is what's going down in Amazon, and it's probably taking place in other places as well. People aren't just picking up their bags and just leaving on their own if they know that if they leave, they're not going to be paid. No. People like, no, I need all my coin. I'm here. I'm already here. I'm out my bed. I'm out my house. It's not like, okay, I was at the crib and you said I didn't have to come in. I'm already here. A lot of times when people show up and they're already there at the job, they're like, listen, I'm here already. I'm already here. I'm already here. And that's what's going on. Anthony says Amazon crippled the postal service, pay below fair rate. Latasha says we need our family units back together. Like we are in times to where this is, yeah, families will be forced to have to kind of come together. But how many of y'all legit low key like, listen, I can't live with my family. I know my sister, my brother, my mom, they crazy. I can't do it. I can't do it because y'all know with the Hispanic community, we've been seeing them. This is just what they're known to do. They listen. They ride deep in cars. They be deep in one apartment. They be deep in a single house. Like they have no problem coming together and making it do what it do. But people that look like me, y'all know it goes down. The police, the popos, finna had to get called over because somebody then got into somebody hair products, somebody got into somebody clothes, somebody jail, somebody weed. Y'all know how it go down. Somebody got into your stuff, and listen, we done started World War V because somebody then got into our ish. That's why we can't live together. We It's real different with our guy when we try to come together. Just look at the cookout. Y'all know it go down at the cookout. Thanksgiving don't act like it don't be going down when family get together. A wedding included, gender reveals, baby showers. Y'all know it goes down. Y'all know it goes down. We have no problem showing out. So we have not mastered the ability to play well with one another on that type. For survival, it sounds good for us to come together. But Listen, the Trump gonna have to sign an executive order to get our people to be living together. Brolena said, had to pop out the bushes just to laugh. Hey, she listen to the bushes. Yes, it goes down. You know it go down. You know it go down over the little step. Who done got my earrings? Who done got my earrings? Walking around wearing misback earrings because your sister done got you for one year. Listen, it goes down. It goes down. Tear the whole house up. Nobody get no rest. So we gotta navigate. We gotta work through stuff like that before we can start talking about trying to share rent. Bro, Lindsay, over some hair products. How many of y'all you didn't went down over some hair products? Some hair products, some clothes, some shoes. Don't act like I'm the only one with some siblings where you it be on and popping when you go in there and try to get your ish and it ain't there. Y'all, y'all know we go down. Uncap said, yes, we do, Latasha. Yes, need more young folks to get into the trade. So true. She speaks on it. Yeah. Like, it's bigger right now. Like, when I try to talk to my kids, I let them know, like, listen, college isn't the only way. There's other ways to learn how to do things. And trade school is one, certifications. You can just be an independent learner, learn how to do things on your own. The mission is just to become skilled in something, however you become skilled in it. There is no one way of doing something. Laura says, have you heard of putting hair in a microwave around a curler? Yes, Laura. Yes, I have. We would do that. So when I was a young girl, when we would wear the synthetic hair with the ponytail. So if we wanted to have it curly, because when you buy the hair, it was straight. So we would use the perm rods and you roll it and yeah, with the setting lotion and you pop it in the microwave. That was what you know my family was doing with hair, my hair, everyone, all the people that look like me. This is what we were doing. You pop it in the microwave. I don't know if they still doing stuff like that in today's times, but yeah, that's just how we did it. You put it in the microwave. Nora, what you know about microwave hair ponytails? Anthony says drama is everywhere. Need more brotherhood, generally speaking. I agree, but listen, this is generational. It's just we just as a collective just don't do well with just spending too much time together like some other groups of people. Thomas says, I promise us of universal income, comfort, and modern living, abundance, and state of art. Laura says, I had zero idea until a black roommate. It shocked me. Oh, you see some things when you live with a sister. Oh, you will see some things. Yeah, we real different. We're very resourceful. We are a very resourceful group of people. Tim says time and work will stop. Latasha says, yep, we had all the four of our cars go down right after the other. I remember using Joy dish detergent for shampoo. Yeah, right now, my hair, sometimes so my hair is locked. So if I want to do so this is, and I just learned about this just since my hair been locked. My hair been locked for maybe 4 years in September. So in the lock community, to detox our hair, I learned, with using dish detergent soap. So I do it maybe like once a quarter. Well, I'll wash my hair with like Dawn or one of those types of soaps, and it just kind of gives it like a deep cleanse. But growing up, it wasn't something that I was familiar with that I learned of. I'd only just use shampoo, but my hair was loose natural also. So yeah, listen, we're very resourceful, and that the dish soap it suds like um, it creates suds very easy, so it can definitely, it's not expensive, so it's definitely more of a savings than like shampoo. So listen, if you got to clean your hair, that is an option for those of you who did not know that. Uncap says, I'm old, my day keep small like tomato cans, both ends of the cord removed. Used for curling hair. I miss the old days. Thomas says, yeah, I wash shampoo, detergent, powder, dishwashing liquid, fabric conditioner. I did and saved lots of money. Yep. Even I'm learning now. Peace, Anthony. The use of soda, that's something that's very You can use for many things, and vinegar, white vinegar. So during these times, I've just been learning about just a lot of different things that can be used in ways that I just wouldn't have thought of, especially when it comes to and cleaning. Healing and cleaning. Subaru says, crazy think about all the jobs are affected nowadays with AI, even disturbing chemistry fields and flexible fibers already being put to test in robots. I don't know how to truly see the future. The way of the future is AI. I just think that a lot of the jobs that even today that we may think that AI wouldn't even be able to take over I will see I think it's just going to take over in a way that we just can't even imagine. Really think back to depending on how old you are, just 20, 30 years ago and where we are today. Can you, like, back then, like, realistically, would you have been able to imagine that the internet would be what it is today? With everything been on the internet, the way we communicate, you watching me, listening to me talk from around the world. Like, just 20 years ago, you only talked to people that was like right in your face or on the phone. It wasn't any like FaceTime or anything like that. So just 20 years ago, so just 20 years from now, I'm sure that where we'll be right now, we can't even imagine it. We just can't even imagine it. This is just how things change and how we evolved. And much of a lot of things are what we say we won't do in the future if something were to happen. Or I'm not going to use no robot. I'm not going to let a robot manage my house and cook my food and clean my house. I'm not going to let a robot drive me around. I'm not going to get in a self-drive, a vehicle where no one has to be behind the wheel. We say these things, but when that time comes, feel like we're going to be doing all these things that we can say right now with our chest what we're not going to do because it's just going to be the way of life. Anthony says we communicate same issues with people couldn't vent about 20 years ago. Yeah, we communicate same issues people couldn't vent about 20 years ago. Thomas says 3 days ago, Spain experienced a major power outage. This is my worry. We need to prepare going solar and off grid battery stations. Yes, I learned about that. I had one of my subscribers in here, Brolena. I don't know if Brolena, are you still in here? She lives over there, and she talked about it in the chat yesterday because I thought about her because I know she lived over there, and she just, I couldn't read everything that she was saying in the chat, but I did see that she said she had about three anxiety attacks during the experience because it was just scary, like the lights going out, because I think from what I learned it started like during the day and then it kind of went into the night, so now it's dark. Like, really think about like not having lights and it's just been dark. So it's not something I want to try to imagine like being. I've seen enough movies and I'm good on that. But anything, we're seeing that these things are possible. These things are very possible, and it's reality, and we have to accept the fact that these things are possible, and we have to just decide for ourselves how are we going to navigate through these times as things are changing with the use of AI, with the use of robots, with the talks of flying. So you all, I learned something I was reading about or listening to someone talk about flying taxi planes. So there's talks of like in planes, I think it would maybe start in New York with like a taxi service where you get in like this electrical, like I don't know what it's used to make it fly, but and initially it'll be someone flying you, but eventually it won't. It won't be anyone flying it. So just think about like as you're commuting from like one place to another and you normally drive. Well, now this would take like instead of you driving your car to get to wherever, taking a lift, whatever, you hop on this taxi plane and it just gets you to your destination maybe in 10 minutes. Would you be here for something like that? And then would you be here for something like that and there's no person in there flying it? It's just whatever it is, this shell of a whatever, flying you to wherever you're whatever you're to flying you to your destination. Like this is like where our future is going, and we can sit here all day and say, I'm not getting to that. But like I said, when that time comes and it becomes a norm, it's like it's just we're just going to do it, right? I mean, because it's just going to become a norm. If you want to get someplace, like this is going to be the way you're going to get there. So this that stuff I'll be talking about over here. It's like just thinking, just getting out of just your bubble, your world, and just kind of broadening your mind, because every day I see the signs of how things are just changing drastically, and how we're moving more and more away from human interaction, the use of humans, the need for human involvement. Like more and more, we're moving away from that. And soon, like restaurants is going to be, I'm talking about how I'm seeing Hispanics in the kitchen cooking at the soul food restaurants. Not long from now, it's just going to be me saying, okay, it was robots in the soul food restaurant cooking or whatever. It's not going to be me talking about what the group of people looked like. It's going to be me saying it was only maybe one person in there in the environment, and everything else, it was robots. It's going to kind of be like that conversation where we're talking about how few humans we're seeing when we're going out and about in the world, into stores, into restaurants, movie theaters, wherever we go. We're going to see less and less people, and you're going to see more machines. How many of you, when you go into like your the fast food restaurants, movie theaters, things like that, you're seeing the removal of like a person engaging with you, taking your order, collecting your money? Are you seeing more like the kiosks, the machines, where you're going to it to utilize it to just put in your orders or whatever, and then the person is just preparing it for you and giving it to you, but the initial order is done through like a machine? Like this is where I live. I live in Georgia. This is what I see more and more inside of the grocery stores, self checkout. So in my community, Publix, it's a popular grocery store chain in the South. So I live in Georgia. Publix was one of the very few like grocery store chains where I saw in my community that did not offer like self checkout. It was always still the human interaction where they had a worker. Well, about a month ago, my local grocery store, my local Publix store, implemented self checkout. So that was very different. And it's just like, okay, it's now no longer just you can bank on going into that grocery store and having like interaction and engagement with the person who's checking you out. Like that was once a for sure thing. Now it's not. You can still have that experience, but now there's also an option to do self checkout. And they had several. It wasn't like couple of different like stations to do the self checkout. Like it was a lot of them. So again, like I said, I feel like we're moving away from the human interaction. And as we move away from the human interaction, it's going to start to impact us psychologically, because guess what? We're going to start to become less disconnected. We're going to become more we're going to become less connected to one another, more disconnected. Just like what we saw, many of us saw, I saw it during the pandemic, the past 5 years, like when we weren't kind of interacting with people like that during that year 2020, 21. How many of you can relate where you felt like more disconnected from people because you were kind of, a lot of you maybe were fortunate enough to work from home. You were fortunate enough to work from home, so you were having to deal with the public like less and less. So it had you to not want to deal with people because you got used to not dealing with people. I know that kind of happened with me because I was always a people person, but during that times I started to move away from being that, because I got used to just being at my home doing my job and not having my teammates like there in arm's reach, my lunch buddies, and people I go to lunch with. Like I didn't have that. So I just became less interested in wanting to kind of have conversations maybe with them or people, because I just kind of was in my bubble in my home with my family, and I saw the change with my children as well when it came to their social lives, and then the amount that they interacted with their peers. It just became less and less. Serena said, here in California, we had a lot of AI taking over. What part of California are you in, Serena? I'm from Northern California, the Bay Area, Pittsburgh, California is to be exact. Serena says, at my job, they placed 8 robots that replaced about 30 people. Yes, they're doing that at some of the Amazon buildings, warehouses. They've closed down some of them, and they put robots in there. So some of the Amazon buildings, the warehouses here in Georgia, they have robots in them. So the people that were working in them, some of them, like, they were just kind of sent them to other like locations if they still needed a job to just work there. And I don't even know if everyone got the opportunity to go work at another warehouse. But at the end of the day, they couldn't work at that one. Anthony says, I'm okay with only one self check for people less than 10 items, but every single checkout. I left California in 2012. Dr. J says, smash the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Double tap the screen. Yeah, we've been on here for a minute. I appreciate you all rocking with me. It's getting dark. But yeah, it's a lot going on. I will definitely be back to share additional updates with all the changes that are taking place within the U.S. And the impact that it's having on other countries as well. Because with the U.S., we're a powerful country, so when we make changes and we shake things up, it impacts other countries as well. So just be mindful of that, and I just recommend you all just do your research. Anything that you hear me talk about or anyone else talk about, just research it and just see what you can learn for yourself. Just see what you can learn for yourself, because it's just for your betterment. The more information you have, the better you can prepare, right? So that's why I come out here to share information. I like to say, go out into the world, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you, meaning like attracts like. Give off good energy. Be nice. Just be nice. Just be nice. It is real simple. It's real simple. It's simple over here. I just like to laugh, smile, just give off good energy. Just I just want to be happy, and I want you all to be happy. So this environment is just centered around that. It's not doom and gloom, but to just share information and share it in the most lighthearted way possible, because it's a lot of information. It's deep and it can be stressful. So take care of yourselves. I have mental health products on Amazon. I have adult coloring books, journals, notebooks, things like that. So on my links, on my previous posted videos, if you're interested in anything centered around mental health, go ahead and check out some of my published products on Amazon, priced at $5.99 to $7.99. So I enjoyed creating them, and I created them for the purpose of just helping people who are just going through some things, because everyone don't have someone to talk to. So sometimes journaling can help you, just writing out your thoughts, your emotions. It can help this, and it can help coloring, something as simple as coloring, just things that don't require for you to just have to do a lot of thinking, using your words, just to just disconnect from just life and just zone out. How about that? Just zone out. So check out those products. Leave a review. I hope you enjoyed them as much as I enjoyed creating them. Like the video on your way out. Like, share, and subscribe. One more day to Friday. Happy Friday Eve. Take care of yourselves and one another. Heavy on the take care of yourself. So often we're taking care of everyone else and neglecting ourselves, and it starts to show on our bodies. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. That's why I have those products out there, because I want to encourage you all to take care of yourselves. Check in on your loved ones. Smash the like button on your way out. Subscribe. I will be back. Dr. J, thank you so much for that. She road to 3,000 subscribers. Dr. J also is a content creator who talks about education. Dr. J, drop your link in the chat if you're interested in learning about just education and just the impacts on just all that's going on and just from the aspect of education. Follow her. She's a small content creator that's just growing, just like me. We're growing. We're growing. I'm growing. Thank you so much for sharing that link, Dr. J. So follow her over there. She does awesome shorts, motivational content, lives, and all of that. Thomas says, be on PayPal. Line must just started as an employee in PayPal. Interesting. Uh-oh, Dr. J, 70 subs and growing. I remember just yesterday celebrating 50. Seems like once you got over that 50 hurdle, it was only up from there. It's kind of how it is, once you meet that first goal, then it kind of goes up. I remember saying road to 1,000 subscribers. It just seems like just yesterday when I was saying road to 1,000 subscribers, and here we are saying road to 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, it's just about supporting one another. So I appreciate you for supporting me. And I'm happy that I'm able to support you and other people are supporting you as well. You all follow Dr. J, see what she's talking about over there. She's my awesome moderator. So I have no doubt, in her ability to be an awesome content creator. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for my other awesome mods, Riza, Virtuous Woman, Just Say When. Thank you, you all. Like the video while you're on your way out. And likely I may come live tomorrow. My daughter's off star, so she has another soccer practice tomorrow. So I may come live again while she's practicing. So make sure you have that notification bell hit so you know when I go live. That time it'll be around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow if I go live. So stay tuned. You all have a wonderful, wonderful night. Be safe. Peace.